Welcome to Baby Narc. I'm going to call this episode The Handwriting on the Wall because, boy, I should have seen it. I told you that Brian is a musician, and he's a wonderful musician. I mean, it is a real shame that he is not in a band or a solo artist. He's that talented. He's a wonderful writer, singer, songwriter, musician, guitar player. It's a real shame. And the sad thing is, the sad realization is that he's never going to do anything with it. You know, he was so hard to get along with back in the day when he was in 3 successful bands, local bands, but nevertheless, they were very successful. And he couldn't get along with anybody then. Can you imagine trying to get along with people now? You know, people don't tolerate that shit. You know, producers, engineers, executives. I mean, shoot, if you had a tour bus driver, he'd probably get pissed off and leave Brian out in the desert. That's so terrible. So he writes these lyrics, and the thing about Brian is he's never written anything to me, not a note, never given me a card. He's certainly never, delivered flowers to me with a handwritten note, on it. So, and he doesn't take me out to eat, so it's not like he's ever signed a credit card receipt. Nothing. So I had never seen his handwriting. Well, a while back, we were hanging out, and he had this huge stack, like a 5-inch stack of all these papers with all of these lyrics that he had written. Now, he had written these over the years. He saved every single piece of paper since he was a kid. And the handwriting on this was like a child. And good thing I didn't say anything. I almost said, "Oh, how old were you when you wrote this?" And he would have said, 5 minutes ago. His handwriting is it's like a serial killer. It's very childlike. I mean, like, a 5-year-old. But it's also crazy. It's like a schizophrenic 5-year-old wrote it. Or serial killer. And, I hate to be mean. Now, he did not graduate high school. And, of course, his stories never match up. So I don't know. I know he went to high school, but I don't know what year he dropped out. But he's also not dumb. I always say he's a fucking dumbass. And he is when it concerns me. But, he is a writer. And, of course, even though he didn't graduate high school, he still gets on the internet and reads everything, he's self-taught and he's a writer. So, he's a wordsmith. And, but his handwriting, wow. And a lot of things that he does and says disturb me. Like, it shocks me. And when I saw all of that, I got that feeling again. He disturbs me. He's a very disturbed individual. It's sad. And I'm going to talk about all of his other mental health and illness issues in another video. But this handwriting, it was alarming. Here's the other thing. He's saved every piece of paper that he's ever written anything on, lyric-wise, since he was a kid. This thing is, like I said, freaking, a foot thick. And, it's his most prized possession, or one of his most prized possessions. And he just keeps them all loose. He doesn't keep them in a box. He doesn't keep them in a notebook and nothing. That's the thing about him is he has no sense of value. Even something that is mega valuable to him, he doesn't have any sense of protection. he might as well stand out in 20-mile-an-hour wind holding the stack of lyrics as the wind catches them and they all go flying down the street. And then I guess he'd run after them, because he's emergency boy. Everything's always an emergency because he does stupid shit and doesn't protect anything of value. And then he always, it's always an emergency. It's always a tragedy. It's always something that has to be cleaned up after the fact that didn't even have to happen. It's really crazy. But, yeah. So the handwriting on the wall. And I don't know what the psychology involved in handwriting is. I mean, I guess if you saw my handwriting, it's like big, huge, and loopy, and and stuff like that. It probably makes me look like I'm crazy too. But wow, I mean, this was disturbing. So, yeah, check your narc's handwriting. Yeah, yeah. There's websites you can like do handwriting analysis, like each character like shows something. That'd be interesting. Yeah. So there you go. Crazy handwriting, crazy everything. Okay, bye.